Welcome back to the VCT Game Changes APAC Academy 2022 June edition. This is day 2 of this tournament, and my name is Grammy. Joining me here today is my co-caster Honeyglaze. How are you feeling here today?
Really excited, Jeremy. As we saw earlier, the intense games and the dominating plays that we've seen just really goes to show that these ladies have something to prove once we go in forward to our tournament.
Yeah, that is true. And this tournament, let's talk about this the match format a little bit, right? So this tournament is held in a Swiss format, which means it's basically like all the teams will be randomly shuffled at every game. So
Mm-hmm.
in every game, each team will be different, and these teams are based on whether or not you win matches. So winning one match will grant a point to a player. So they're shuffled based on that and round differentials as well. So I think we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna be seeing some really exciting matches coming right up next.
Yeah, exactly. We also saw how the teams and the players were able to adjust between each other. So definitely they will be having their chance to be comfortable within themselves and especially their playstyle.
Yeah, that is true. And also, a fun fact to note is that this competition is actually for players ranked Plat 3 and below. So these are actually
Mm-hmm.
aspiring, probably aspiring
Pro
pro
players.
players. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Mm-hmm. And we can also talk about the current price pool that they are competing up against is amounting to a $500 USD a total prize pool, in which we can break it down to the first players or the first teams will be receiving in 150, second ones will be receiving in 100, and third to the sixth placers will be securing in 50 USD each, and the last ones will be receiving in 25 USD.
Yeah, and we the next map. This is map 5 already. This the next map that's
Mm-hmm.
coming up is gonna be on the map of Breeze. So what do you think about Breeze?
Well, in the breeze, I think this is really just the map of combat, map of duels, in which we are mostly relying on their aim, especially their crosshair placements, especially that this is really a long range map. It really just goes to show if you win out the duels, if you win out everything when it comes to their aim and crossfires, that will be one hell of an advantage when we go through the next few following stages. But on the other hand, again, this is just really a map that we can say that this is really one of the best plays that we can expect the players to go up against.
Yeah, that is true. I do think these long angles are really going to test the mechanical skills of all of these players here today. And okay, there's always been a contention between the Vandal and the Phantom, right? So what do you think about
Mhm.
this comparison between these two guns on this map?
Well, I gotta say, I'm just really a big fan of the Vandal. So mostly in this map, it really has the high advantage, especially that Vandal can go a long way. We cannot rely that much on the Phantom when it comes to the long ranges. So really goes to show that you need to have that crosshair placement to surely secure in those one tap potentials, especially in this map, since it's really crucial to see that players have those kind of aim if they even want to have their composure and even have their advantage when they go up against their players on the next few rounds.
That is true. And honestly, I do think the Vandal is by far the superior gun on this map, especially with all those long angles. But if you are
Mhm.
perhaps able to kind of execute onto a site and close off those long angles from maybe a controller such as Viper or a Neon Wall, you are actually able to take those close range fights where the Phantom
Mhm.
actually excels. So I do think it's really up to how the player is going to play.
Exactly. Really think of that so since we need to see demo use in their utilities YC, you mentioned it earlier how we can see and how viable it is to have a Viper when it comes to the close ranges, especially when you have the advantage to vulnerable every player that go in your utility, may it be the poison cloud, may it be the toxin screen, especially in the Viper spit. You need to have something that can enable in your firepower to have your mostly like advantage to have those post plans secured for your team, and especially those crazy angles that we can compete on once that their vision is already countered with their toxin rolls. I really want to ask you as well, Grammy, is that what will be the certain compositions. We talk about the Viper. So what can be the Sentinel in this map, or most likely the Duelist is in your favor, since I've seen most of the plays start off with a Neon this time, and with after what happened with the nerf of Jet.
I do think that Viper is the staple controller for Breeze, especially because her wall is just so strong to close off so many angles. But in terms of
Mhm.
Sentinels, I think we've been seeing quite a bit of Chamber recently because his ultimate is literally just an operator, which is also
Exactly.
just able to utilize those long angles really well. Speaking of agents, let's head into Agent Select right now to find out what agents these players have actually picked up today.
And again, as we mentioned earlier, this is the Valorant Game Changers Academy, which we will be seeing here the ladies play off in a Swiss format. That we will be seeing the same players who've been playing on this game or on this tournament for quite a while now. And now, as Grammy mentioned, we are finally going back into our agent selection. As we mentioned as well, is that the Viper is already present for both of our teams to secure on this map.
Yeah, we see the Viper coming out on the side on both teams actually, and the Chamber as well. So I do think these teams kind of know what they're doing. But on the side of Team 4, they're already all locked in. Solo Duelist Reina is a
Choose
pretty
your
interesting pick
agents.
for this map, I
Mhm.
would say.
Yeah, exactly. I'm also curious about how the Fade is going to play through on this map. Since usually the initiators that you see that is currently picked or will be usually picked on Breeze will be the KO or either have here the Sova to have those info gathering agents. Since we all know how usable it is to counter out the utilities of the Sentinels holding on the side. But with that Fade, it can also reduce in so much capabilities of those defenders to have their winning advantages, as there's also the opportunity of their utilities here by Fate to clear out those crazy angles. But on the other hand, the attacking team will be relying on their double duelist setup, which is not that bad of a setup, but I think this is just like the OG kind of setup that we've seen
Yeah.
so many seasons ago.
Yeah, that's true. And on the defender side, they're actually opting for a double sentinel lineup with the Sage on Uniquin and Chawayo on that chamber. So I think this is gonna be a pretty interesting matchup. Double duelist versus double sentinel. It's like who can force into the site better
Mm-hmm.
or who can stall the attackers from coming in better.
Oh wow. Yeah, you mentioned it as well with their composition. It's just really relying on how will they be able to defend themselves with a double duelist setup from the attacking team. Team 3 and Team 4 will be facing off against each other for the map of Freeze. We have your Team 3 going as the attackers for the first half, defending here as Team 4. I'm currently seeing here the quite of an advantage when you have that double duelist setup with that with the support of the radar with those blinds, especially the counter visions that will be relying on the toxic screens given to us by that Viper. And speaking of, I think they are trying and wanna be playing onto B, while we have here Joe Savage just trying to lurk onto the following members of Team 4. And will it be exactly what or how they want to pick off, since early on
Oh,
into
well played.
our round we have here so much of a accessibility for Joe Savage to eliminate in three members or two members immediately from Team 3.
Yeah, Team 3 is already taking the advantage, the numbers advantage in the favor of them. One
Last
more
player
in the
standing.
favor. Make that another as they get a
Wow.
flawless pistol round to start off the game.
Mhm. Really just goes to show how the composure of Team 3 is, especially how Jill Savage was able to penetrate into mid. The double doors went in fully open and accessible for her to secure in those pickoffs that wasn't even giving any attention of who will be able to go inside of the site all the way from double doors. But this time, I think Team 3 is fully on stock here in B. How will Team 4 be able to defend this further?
It is gonna be a full save coming out on the side of Team Fall. All classics and nothing else. So it seems like Team 3, they're going in for this A hit this time, B hit this time around. And as Rina, she's able to get that first pay Radiant, good for another
Oh.
as well. And that completely opens up the site. Tobankan going into the CT to get aggressive here. Good shot by her, and that's the Reina down on the other side.
Ooh. Just gotta comment how we are seeing here the confidence given to us by the duelists of Team 3. Since they have the mobility, they have something on their sleeves to secure in those pickouts immediately as they go in forward to secure in those infos. They will be going in head to head. They want to go up with the duels that they have, with their composition and with the nature of their agents to completely penetrate to a site. 2-0 is our scoreline. And now fully is the question again for this round. Will this be in favor now of Instalacrino YT, especially on this round that they are full on buys?
They do have the gut advantage in this next round. I mean, this round, Team 4 with the Vandals as Islog Reina trying to go in for that peak, but is going to get flashed out here. Able to
Oh
take that fight,
no.
but unfortunately will fall to her counterpart there as Tomakan going in aggressive once again.
Ooh,
Unfortunately, will get punished by
nice one.
Chowayo right there. The numbers advantage right now in the favor of Team 4.
Yeah. They also have the free guns. And now Uniqueen will be enabling herself another open opportunity to secure in another. Chowayo will be getting in that kill for Shunawabi, since it was really unfortunate for her to not be able to react on time. Oh, we have another pick off. That is the fourth one for Choyo, especially on this round in which they really needed that to win against Team 3. But the problem here is Grammy, I think that was really a costly round for Team
Yeah.
4 to secure in that win since only two of them survived.
Yeah, that means they were only able to save 2 out of 4 of the Vandals that they brought into the
Mm-hmm.
in from the previous round. And coming into this next round, Team 3, I believe they do have the economy to completely buy up. We see full Vandals
Exactly.
on all of them, full shields as well. And seems like once again they're gonna go in for this A execute, but I believe there is gonna be a player lurking towards mid. So
Mm-hmm. It will be the same amount of places that they have committed for the first two rounds, especially as they go in forward in A side. Look at the minimap. They're just really reacting on time. They're just reacting immediately as they went in
oh,
forward. That is Poo Bunny securing an A kill with Justice Sheriff. Unfortunately for her, there is also as well the trade-off that went in so successfully for them to equalize the numbers, but will it be a success round? As we hear here, Tobaka with his ultimate already securing and activating it to give a lot of pressure. So all of the retake advantage here from Team 4. But unfortunately for them, they have already lost in 2 members. Make it 3, make it 4, and make it 5. Another 3K for this lady over here to secure in their commanding lead for Team 3.
this is a pretty dominant showing on the side of Team 3 because they've already gotten 2 flawless rounds. That means they've had so much economy built up, right? Then they survived the previous round with 4 players alive, so they don't really have to invest coming to this next round as well. And on the side of
Mm-hmm.
Team 4, they are going to have the inferior weaponry this time around as we see Poo Poo Bunny once again opting for the Sheriff. She did do quite a bit of damage on in the previous round, so if she's able to find those headshots once again in this round, she might be able to do a lot more.
Yeah. She started off the round earlier strong to make it unable for the rest of the members of Team 3 to react on time. But unfortunately, again, that was a full-on rush and commitment for Team 3 to secure in A side. But this time, it's all about B. We have the smokes already covering up. Shuna B here won't be hesitating as much. That is a low on HP Unicorn that is already falling down.
Oh,
Unfortunately, here for Tonbaka, he wasn't able to react on time against the two players rotating back into B side. Team 4 has the advantage of their numbers. Fortunately, here for Team 3, they're also low on HP. Pupu Bunny secures in that kill against So Savage, making the 3K for their new newbie. And now, they couldn't get in enough. But unfortunately, for the first two shots, it won't be connecting for Insula Crana. It's already down to 22 HP, but unfortunately, with the running out numbers from the side of Team 4, they're just really dominating it further just to secure in this One hell of a trip there on onto three scoreline. Still in favor of Team 3, but really is just a good start off for Team 4.
That was a really good round coming out from the side of Team 4 because, okay, newbie, I don't know if you saw, but she got two kills with a classic and one with a
Mm-hmm.
molly, so that was a huge investment for a team,
Exactly.
and they were just able to save up, pick up those vandals of the bodies of Team 3
It
there,
was
so
a free gun, by the way.
yeah. Free gun, by the way. But yeah, coming into this next round, it is gonna be a full buy round for both teams, except for Unicorn, who's
Mhm.
actually opting for the Expector. Maybe trying to get some close range fights here.
Mhm. But with her already positioned all the way from mid, I don't think this is a wise thing to do. But unfortunately
Oh,
here for Tonbaka, it wasn't enough for her to secure in her quick of a reaction time. But look at this. Unfortunately here for Shinobi, he won't be committing in those bullets connecting into Insulak Reina will be quickly traded off by Pupu Bunny. What are you doing there, my little sis? We have here another pick off, especially for our defending players. Choyo will be cleaning things out with a 3-3 scoreline. That was a good of a flawless round, especially for Team 4, to make it sure that Unikin has her a gun round. Or unfortunately for her, she wasn't able to pick up any guns for a free upgrade.
I mean, just in the previous round, one by one, the team side of Team 3, they just fell like flies. So I think
Hmm.
it was just T4 saying, "Well, you guys can you can win flawless rounds, but so can we, and especially
Hmm.
on a full gun round at that." So that was a really important round for them to win. And coming to this next round, Team 3, they're not really gonna have the economy to fully buy up. We
Hmm.
see Pato Banka on a sheriff actually, but two players are gonna be able to buy up Vandal. So they might be looking to find a little bit more damage this time around towards this
You want
mid
to
position
play?
as the spike
Let's
is
play.
making its way towards the A site.
Will it be a success though for Team 3, especially that this is already the turning point for Team 4 to secure in their full potential on the comebacks? We have no full on stock 4 members from Team 3, but they are just being held off with too much of a time they are taking here in mid. They're not traveling any further. There is a possibility for the other members of Team 4 to secure in and have them play in the sandwich. But unfortunately here, they're just receiving a lot of damage, a lot of impact given to us by the free fires here for Team 4. We're down to a 3v4 scenario. This is the numbers all in favor of Team 4, but look at the minimap. They're just really scattered all over. But Ness is already vulnerable, and this is already committed by our members from the attacking team. And Shunabi was able to go in, clean things up with the tree. But look at that, stabbing in against Newbie is the shock darts by Nyx with just little of her HP left behind on that Sova 4 is a 3. Now another lead for Team 3.
Team 3 once again taking the lead and coming to this next round. Once again, it's gonna be a full buy round. So this is
Mm-hmm.
gonna be one of the most important rounds for Team 3 to win if they don't want Team 4 to be able to kind of bring back the scoreline and kind of snowball it into their favor. So coming to this next round, it seems like it's gonna be a hard and heavy A side hit this time around.
Heavy A side as they have been
Oh,
winning it for the first few rounds. That was a quick kill for Tombanka. There is the numbers advantage now, all the way in favor of Team 3. This is a good one, especially that they need to come back with all of the potential that they have created. All ever since this game started. Should be here, we'll be getting in another. We have now down 3 members from Team 4 Uniqueen. This is a possible retake. This is still winnable. But unfortunately, the end of for her, she is being tagged off and picked off by Nyx. It's just Unikin all the way from Halls. It's just remaining. She's the only member remaining. Will be getting in 1 kill, but unfortunately, with those crossfires and the numbers advantage from Team 3, they will be having again their commanding lead of 2 rounds against Team 4.
so far I think on the side of Team 3, their 5-man pushes have been pretty successful, especially on the A side, right? So I think
Exactly.
they should be keeping this up instead of kind of splitting up, which basically will give Team 4 the opportunity to kind of pick the players of the side of Team 3 off, which will win them the
Mhm.
round. So I do think on the side of Team 4, they should be trying to get Team 3 into those isolated angles that they can easily pick them off from.
Mm-hmm.
So coming to this next round, it is once again gonna be a full rifle round for both sides. But this time around, it's the Lorena. She's going in aggressive,
Ooh.
but gets punished by Tobaka right there, going in for more
Ooh.
2K onto Poo Poo Bunny. Gets spotted out by that Hondo, but Jules Savage is the one to win that fight towards the mid doors. And it's all up to Troy, a 1v4 situation. The Chamber has 8 bullets
Ooh.
in his hit hunter, able to find that first pick onto Jules Savage, but there's 3 more players to go.
Three more. That is really just a pressure, but won't be tagged in by the chalk dart. Will be tagged by the Aldon. This is a lot of pressure for Choyo to make things happen for her team. But unfortunately, that wide swing it is unfortunate since it just gives us a lot of space to bait out Choyo in the nick of the time that we have your Tombaka trying to knife
Oh
things out.
no!
But unfortunately, it won't be committing as much. He will be tagged in and he will be knifed out by Choyo. You don't do this thing to her. Now Choi just make things happen, but unfortunately with the little time that he has left, she won't be able to defuse in the spike. But I really gotta say that was a very commendable knife battle against Sombanka. Really was just another knife or another highlight to see here in our instant replay.
Yeah, Tobaka getting the 2 kills off the bat of that push was just what opened up the mid position for team especially. And as she was going in for this knife kill, I was like, don't do it. But
No.
Choayo won that knife fight anyway.
Yeah, she was just able to react on time. Unfortunately for Tobaga, she whiffed out the first right click and didn't manage to get in the second one. But this time around, Choyo will be going up aggressively, but will not be worthy enough since Jill Savage is a savage to clean things up. Will it be a 2K? And
Oh,
yes, it will. She will be escaping after getting in those casualties with 2 HP. What is sneaky little snitch? We're going to see your full on members now going into the AA side. They will be planting in the spike, but unfortunately for Shunami, she wasn't ready enough for that pickup. Insula goes in for 2. Quickly winded up to hear something that is crawling all the way from halls. Will it be Raiden? Will she be able to win out this one? But unfortunately, she won't since Insula knows where is she coming from. And now it's all up to Nyx and her shock darts and her recons. But unfortunately for Choayu, she's just very low now on HP.
Nyx does have the Hunter's Fury to work with if the side of team 4 they go in for this defuse, which they are gonna go for, but newbie is pushing up already. Nyx able to find that first pick,
She
but
cannot see! She cannot
I
see!
don't think oh no. Nyx finds the
No!
kill anyway, but it's way too late as the side of Team 4 they get to defuse the spike anyway. So that was 1 point more on the board. 4 points in total on the side of Team 4 right now. I wanted to say Joe Savage quick 2K, but down to 2 HP, kind of like 2-2-2, you know?
Mhm. Just really was unfortunate for Nyx. Let's talk about what just happened here. It's just those crazy angle that really was just fortunate enough for Insula Crana to defuse in the spike since she wasn't visible. And now they have the possibility to have that come up with 2 more rounds. It's just a 6-4. It's still doable. But they need to make sure that newbie would be killed. But unfortunately, with that shotgun, it won't be happening as much. Poo Poo Bunny, she needs to do something about this thing. But now, unfortunately, for Tombaga, she's just what was she doing? She was reloading all the way in the open. Poo Poo Bunny will be tagged or will be spotted in by another player here from Team 3. But unfortunately, with this Viper Suit, this is just going to be hard for the rating to happen, especially for Team 4, who is lagging onto the members right now, 3v4.
Always still out. Reina has the Empress in hand, but eventually will fall to Radiant anyway as Nyx picks up another kill as well. It's all up to Choa Yotua, the Force in hand. What kind of damage can you find with this weapon? 5 bullets in the chamber. The Viper's Pit is still online, so this is going to be a really tall task for Choa Yo right here as he picks up the Vandal and makes her way to the backside. It is Joe Savage who pulls out the Tour de Force and gets that pick onto Choa Yo instead. And it's 7 points on the board for Team 3.
Now I just gotta say that they are safe enough to lose a few or this round for Team 3 since they have what it takes to completely destroy and eliminate in the players from Team 4. I'm just really talking about how it is unfortunate for Team 4 to not secure in enough eco since they are just relying in their half armors and the Spectre for two people, make it three. And Unicorn, I really think that with this double Sentinel setup, it's just really working out for them. Since we have so much aggression and so much firepower when it comes to the duels happening in favor of Team 3.
Speaking of duels, it's Team 4 that's gonna go aggressive down mid here. The mid doors is already taken by them, but Choayo is gonna spot out that recon dot from Team 3 towards the A side. It's gonna get spotted out as well as she teleports back to safety.
Now, at least, she was able to spot in Tomaka, the highest fragger in our food chain right now. Ridiana will be getting in that kill against Shoyo with that off-drop. She won't be tagging as much enough. Killing inside Akrina, there is a trade-off for Nyx. The slowers are already raiding inside the side, but unfortunately enough, 14-4, this is down to a 2v3 scenario as Jules Savage gets a newbie. Ready Nail goes in for one, but with that wall, will this be a good opportunity for her to defuse in the spike? But they were quick enough to destroy in a panel of the wall, enabling Angel Savage to have her crosshair, placing onto that last final member for that last final round, and they have all in favor of Team 3.
I have to give props to Unicorn right there. I do think that wall was a good play. Unfortunately, for the side of Team 4, Team 3 just had a superior firepower, right? So they were just able to spam down that wall immediately. And coming to this next second pistol round, we are going to see Sheriffs across the board and Toban Khan actually relying a ghost across the board, actually, as Toban Khan goes in for that ghost as well. So double duelist setup on the defender's side. What do you think about this?
Well, with their setup and composition, I really most likely want to see is their aggressive pushes that can be happening all in favor of them. They just need to be careful of those crossfires and especially with their risks and pros and cons. But with this, I'm just really talking about it. The aggressiveness that is really paying off since they have the mobility to escape right away.
Yeah, that is the strength of the chamber shown by Jules Savage right there. Picks off one with that headhunter and able to rendezvous back to safety. And it's Radiant playing in this close right corner. But for the side of Team 4, they are going to be backing off a little bit, which I do think is a pretty good decision because there are like 3 to 4 players already on this A side waiting
Exactly.
for them.
Yeah, they need to at least be careful. But unfortunately for Chorio, she didn't hear me any much further, any much clearly, since she is already picked off. She was planning to lurk, but it was too early for her to do so. Since you mentioned it earlier that the players from Team 3 have already decided to pick on
Oh,
someone since we have our Shunabi gets in one. Fortunately here, she was quickly traded off by Poo Poo Bunny and now 2v4. Will it still be doable or will it be still a dominating place from Team 3?
30 seconds left.
so far, Poo Poo Bunny has really been hitting those headshots, but it was Shunabi who was able to find that crossing, that timing onto, I believe it was Newbie right there, as Unicorn and
Oh
Poo Poo
my
Bunny
gosh.
find picks
Shut
off
them
their
up.
own. It's down to a 2v2 situation, making that a 1v2 all
thank
up
God.
to Poo Poo Bunny, but unfortunately for her, she's unable to find any more damage as Team 3 take the second pistol round.
Oh my gosh, I really commend here to Amlanka that she didn't decide to knife out someone in the back again with that round. Unfortunately, here for newbie, she wasn't able to react or she wasn't able to give any much attention on who was already crawling all the way behind her. So now, in this kind of situation, it's just really the dominating place of those three players that is all the way on top of our food chain. I'm talking about Tombaka, I'm talking about Redinil. Now, we see and hear all of the commitments already given by Team 4 to try and penetrate to B side. But will they be able to pick onto Redinil? And that is already the answer. Pupu Bunny goes in for one immediately.
Yeah, but Sin Shinobi is gonna be trading the numbers back out as a showdown from Nyx. Actually gonna chip off some damage, but it's Poo Poo
Oh.
Bunny who pushes through that toxic screen, able to find one with Shinobi once again trading it out.
Oh
3k,
my
4k, they're falling
God.
like flies to her. It's all up to Choi. Unfortunately, she's unable to hit her shots. The shots do not connect as Tobaka cleans up the round for her team.
What a dominating game, dominating lead of players over here for Team 3. Their composure, their synergy is really on point. Again, we would like to mention that these players are shuffled to find the fight, to find the enough and right synergy for them to secure in so much place inside of the side. That was really a close of an ace for Shunabi to make and for Shunabi to secure. But I think Thundercat just said no. This is mine. The final kill will be given onto her. So now the double digit pressure is all the way in favor of Team G, and they will be facing in so much of slow plays given to us by Team 4 since they don't have enough firepower to hold on to.
Yeah, especially Poo Poo Bunny does have a Spectre in hand. She has to go in for those close range fights with the Spectre. I don't think you can really rely on it for longer range, but there are going to be two players towards this B side for her to clear out. But Radaline is going to go aggressive with the Sheriff down mid. It's going to spot out Insalot Reina. The shots do not connect, and Insalot Reina is going to one is gonna be the one who finds that pick, but Shunabi is there for the trade. It's a 2v3 situation. Still in favor of Team 4 as the Prowler comes out from Poo Poo Bunny. Is gonna get tagged up a little bit here as Shunabi finds that pick and cleans it up. Tailwinds away, trying to find it more, but unfortunately will fall to Choayo as Toban
Oh my
finds some
gosh!
damage with the long range Spectre action all up to Choayo 1v1 situation right here. 46 HP to her name as Toban Khan able to heal up completely with that Devour, and the spike is going to be rotating from CT spawn towards the A side here.
Mhm.
30 seconds
That
left.
is the very wise decision for her to make, especially that they are already down to 40 seconds remaining. She's also down to a very low HP, and Tomaka just was able to heal herself up on time. But unfortunately for Choyo, she already has the firepower she needed to at least win out the duel. Down to 46 HP. Will it still be doable for Choyo, or will it be Tombanka's favorable moment of giving so much of the anxiety, of overthinking, and now she was able to tag in, she was able to get an info, but unfortunately she still went and tried to go inside of the site. She should have stayed on put all the way from cave and just not let Tombaka see anything.
That's true. I don't think she was really expecting Tomaka to come in from the other side, so she wasn't really looking at that position. And just like that, Tomaka was able to capitalize off of that mistake. So it's a pretty unfortunate situation for Team 4. But for the side of Team 3, it's really good as once again we see this insane Spectre shot coming out from Tomaka, able to clean up the round once again for her team. And 11-4 is going to be the scoreline right here.
Whew. Just really is such an overwhelming match for Team 4 to handle, especially with the number of execution played out by Team 3 with those jiggle and crossfires, full on mechanical mastery. And speaking of, I was just talking about Shinabi over here, winning off that pick off, winning off that wide off a flick against Pupu Bonnie and the rest of the members here from T4 down to a 2v or down to a 3v4 scenario. They were able to plan in the spike. They have free guns, but at the very least, they need to win out this post plant if they want to come back stronger and survive it for another round in this game.
Oh, you'll be able to find one pick, but Tobaka is there for the trade. Choa, you're good for one as well. It's down to a 2v2 situation. Choa, you're trying to go in for more, but Tobaka capitalized off of that. Uniquin finds one of her own, so it's down to a 1v1 situation. Uniquin 33 HP! Unfortunately, it's gonna fall to Tobaka once again. She's really been clutching out all these rounds. The previous round, she was clutching it out. This round, once again, it is Tobanka on top with that 3k as well.
Yeah, she's just, oh my god. She's just really such a tank that they need to put everything on their sleeves to put her down. I'm talking about Tombaka here on the top of our leaderboards right now. 18, or rather 19 is to 8 KDA over 16 rounds. This is just really an overwhelming and one-sided match in favor of the numbers and of the players here for team 3. Look at the kill distribution. They're just playing out smoothly. They're just playing it equalized against team 4. Wasn't able to pin down any kind of players or any kind of team play and strategy here for team 3 to make, but this time they're all stuck up here in B. They're all in B main. I think Grammy, this is just such a problem, especially that they're just being sandwiched already by team 3.
The trademark gonna
Look at
spawn one
this.
out, and Jules Savage capitalizes off it with Radiant there to support as well. It's all up to Joy, a 1v5 situation. This might be so too much of a task to ask from her, but she's able to find that first pick. Unfortunately, is gonna fall to Radiant, who picks up the
Oh.
3k in the round, and the game goes to Team 3.
What a really dominating match. I just really need to say how commendable the executions were. Flawless and clean, especially for the members of Team 3. We have that Jet, we have that Reina, although this was just really an OG setup composition. They just went in fully with their playstyle and went in with their individual skills to dominate in those plays against Team 4. Wasn't able to at least tie up everything in their sleeves to have those battles being won up against their duelists. It just really goes to show that once you have fully committed or fully maximized the capabilities of the fundamentals of their skill sets, you will be able to win out their duels.
Yeah, and I do want to mention I really want to commend Tobanka, Shinabi, and Juice Savage for playing so like more aggressively on the defender side, especially because the agents that they pick, they're those kind of agents that are able to find their first opening pick and just get away out scot free. So they really capitalize off of that, right? And in total, they got 9 first bloods, which is more than half of uh the the total number of rounds that
Mhm.
we had, I believe.
Exactly. It's just really overwhelming. It didn't even have it didn't even reach up to the kills that were already executed or were already given to Tomaka. She was really just dominating in every round and every confident the CC. This is just really one of those crucial moments that we need to see with our players is their comfortability and also their confidence to hold their angles, to hold their duels, since we saw earlier on the starting of the second half that you were hesitated on the fact that they were down to one member immediately the pistol round started for the second half. And what happened, it just really goes to show that they were scared and afraid how the duels will pan out once they get into the site, which they need to get into the site since they were the attacking on this half.
Yeah, that's true. And the side of Team 3, they were just able to capitalize off of that, right? So just like that, they were able to close up the map pretty easily. But speaking of closing out, we are going to go ahead in for a short break right here, but don't go anywhere because we are going to be playing the next map very, very soon, which is going to be on the map of Haven. So we'll see you guys there.